Hello and welcome to Conscious Parenting series. We have a lovely conscious parent and conscious parent facilitator, Sangeeta Dewan, and I will be asking her some questions. Hello, Sangeeta.
Hi, Goldie.
How are you today?
I'm good.
So I have a question for you.
All right.
So what do you do as a conscious parent to show presence?
I think presence is all about, of course, sitting with your child and listening, because we talk about communication is very important, and biggest part of it is listening. Because when your child is speaking to you, if you listen, if you see their facial expressions, if you're there with them, you can empathize with them, whatever they are going through it, or you can be joyful with them. So being present means fully focused on them. There is no distraction.
Amazing. I love that answer. Amazing. Okay, this is for all those parents out there. The next question. What do you do when your child is having a tantrum in the shops?
I really wanted to say that I want to have a tantrum. But it is about, more about, when the child is having a tantrum, they just want your attention, I feel. So if you ask them a question saying, what is wrong with you? What is happening to you? What do you want? Most of the times you think that their tantrum goes down, they'll be ready to have a dialogue. I mean, they could be very young and they don't want to say it. Either they'll be tired, or they'll be hungry, or sometimes they want a toy. So it's about having a conversation with them, again, being present with them and saying, hey, I hear you. They usually stop the tantrum, or they'll have a dialogue to say, well, I am tired, or I don't want to do this, or anything like that. So I personally feel that whenever you have a conversation with them, the tantrums does subside. I mean, my young child had a tantrum when we were in the mall when he was 2 years old, and he was just crying, and I was thinking, oh my God, what's happening? And first thing that comes to parents is we feel embarrassed,
of course,
of the surrounding, what other people think of us. We are not a great parent. But again, if we, don't worry about what other people think and attend to your child, they usually have a dialogue, or they might say, I want to go home, or I'm hungry, or something. And then you think you can resolve that issue very quickly.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So, next question that I have for you is, how does working on yourself improve your relationship with your child?
I think that is one of the biggest thing I found, a biggest gift you can give to your child is to work on yourself. As we have all of us heard that hurt people, and I think my journey and my relationship with my children have totally transformed, because when they were young, growing up, I was in a lot of pain. I was carrying a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. But I remember when they were 6 and 4, I decided that I don't want to feel like that. That every time they are in pain, I go more in pain than them. So if they are having bad day, I go in ICU. So I'm no good to them anyways.
Yeah.
So I realized that me working on me understanding my pain, how to resolve it, I can actually help my children. Now when they are in pain, I can really hold their space. I can say, okay, I'm there for you, whether either I have to give them space, or either I have to have a chat with them, or any way I can support them, because I have worked on myself. And quite a lot of issues, I think I have gone through it. Usually we see our kids have similar kind of issues. If I had self-doubt, they will have self-doubt. If I had a, issue of getting angry, they will have that as well. So me working on them, it's like I'm seeing the mirror and I'm saying, okay, how can I resolve? But whenever I work on them, actually it really helped me to help them.
Perfect. Amazing. I love that. So next question we have is, how do you, as a conscious parent, set limits and boundaries?
I think, again, as a parent, we always think that we need to teach our child something, which is true to a certain extent. But I think, for me, I have grown with my children. I'm saying, if I want me to set a limit for them, where am I setting limits for me? Because if I say to my child, after 7 o'clock, there's no TV, yet I'm watching TV till 2 o'clock in the morning, then it's not going to work. So if I say, okay, you go out, I know with my, again, the older one, he had a certain way of, for studying for exam or things like that. He said, well, he gets distracted very quickly. So I was thinking, I am like that. I get distracted very quickly. So I said to them, okay, how I work is I say this half an hour is totally focused. Then I'll have 10 minutes break.
Nice.
Try these things. And with my younger one, it was a lot of technology, a lot of time. Again, it's about seeing what makes them happy, allow them to that little extent, but then set a time limit and say, okay, that's the time. Like I used to say, 7 o'clock is dinner time. And I used to tell them, like when he starts game, and then I used to go back and, say it again, reminder, because children forget, when we are having fun, we forget,
So they get engrossed, don't they?
Absolutely. So remind them. And one biggest thing is be gentle and be loving. See, as a parent, we become very judgmental and we raise our voice, and yet we tell our kids not to raise voice because that's not the right thing. So it's about whatever we are saying, are we actually following that? That's the biggest thing I think makes a difference.
Amazing. And have you ever experienced maybe one of your two children who have been so engrossed in their phones or their tablets, or would you say at the moment it's Fortnite or any sort of game? And then because that would relate to other parents. Have you experienced that yourself?
Absolutely. My younger one didn't want to leave computers and things for hours and hours. But what I realized that's something he was interested in. Yes, sometimes he was playing games. But when I really observed him closely, that was something really was making him happy. So I said, okay, you want to play games, but play games for a while, then have a pause, do something else, come and connect with us. Especially we made a rule of no phones on the dining table. And I realized sometime me or my husband was having a phone. So I have to point out, look, if we are making a rule for a child, we should follow that, because otherwise it's no good. They are going to not follow it. So yes, I did say it, but because I observed him very closely, actually he got really interested in how games work. I asked him a quality question saying, well, you're so much interested in computers, in games. What do you think you can create? How do you think that'll benefit you or, in your progress? And because I asked so many quality questions, I didn't ask him to leave what he loved. He actually got really interested in computers.
Oh, wow.
He made his first website when he was 7 years old.
Wow.
And now he's doing computer science degree, because I just thought he was naturally drawn to the computers for a reason.
Yeah.
So rather than me just saying it's not good for you, I say, okay, how can you have a balance? So you have a personal connection as well, yet you enjoy what you do, but look into more deeply how it can really enhance your qualities. So, asking quality questions sometimes can help.
Amazing. I love that. I will be using that for my nephew for sure, because he loves computer games.
Absolutely.
So yeah, getting more what's the word, creative, and saying maybe they can create their own games. I think that's really, really important.
It is nice. And sometimes I think we listen to other people a lot, because when we hear in media something, technology is not good for them. And, we are creating everything through technology. So rather than saying this is no good for you, and saying how can you, whatever you love, how can you make it work for you? So it's the other way of saying, okay. So he started to learn more apps. He started to learn how to create a game rather than just playing somebody else's game. I said, can you create something like that?
Nice.
Can you create something impressive? So he started to learn. So it's about focusing on what they love, being present with them. Actually, you will observe them and you'll find out what they love, and you can actually create that more benefit for them.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. And then we have one more question is, our last question, what are the best ways to improve communication with your child?
I think that is the key. I'm a natural talker, so it was easier for me. It's about, again, talking to them, not just because when they're happy, talking to them when they are sad. And this is something I have learned from my younger one, because I remember growing up, whenever I used to get really irritated or angry, I used to be told, don't get angry. So, of course, I repeated that with my child. And I remember him saying, how can you tell me not to be angry when I am feeling angry? And I thought, wow, it's how to say it. So then I thought about another question. I said, well, why are you feeling angry, rather than saying, don't feel angry. And then he expressed it. So it's about getting creative. It's about not thinking, I know the best. It's about growing with your child. It's about learning new ways, again, educating yourself. And as we said, conscious parenting series is best for us because as a parent, if we keep growing, everything in our relationship, whether be it with our children, be it with ourselves. My relationship with myself has improved because I thought I wanted to know more about me, and everything else then, get better and better. But we should not stop growing. We should not stop learning just because we're a parent.
Of course. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, for
Thank you,
those
Goldie.
amazing answers. So I hope all those at home have been enjoying those answers. If you'd like to know more about Conscious Parenting series, you can email us at cps@schoolawakening.com, or you join our 24/7 platform Zoom Flow by downloading the Zoom app and typing in 352 367 242.